Welcome back to Smash. We're going to start off today by battling the Piantas. I have already collected this spirit through the challenge board, but now it's really time for us to show these horrible jerks who's boss. So, yeah, the Piantas. They are a race of island-dwelling people introduced in Super Mario Sunshine, and they seem really chill and laid back, except for the fact that they're really not. Like, they falsely accuse Mario of just, like, ruining their island by displacing all the Shine Sprites, and they sentence him to go get them all. And they force him to continue his sentence even after his name is cleared. And they actively impede his task by hoarding Shine Sprites and making some of them borderline impossible to get. So, yeah, just really horrible, horrible people. Isle Delfino, would not recommend it for a holiday. Very corrupt justice system there. Anyway, here we have, weird tangent, we have Super Sonic. Super Sonic first appeared in Sonic 2 after collecting all of the Chaos Emeralds. You could pick up 50 rings, hit the B button, and transform, becoming super fast, super powerful, and burning through any given level. In more modern Sonic iterations, Super Sonic essentially serves as a big climactic final boss slayer form that Sonic takes anytime you get to the end of a game. So he has felled gods like Perfect Chaos, monstrosities like the Final Hazard along with Super Shadow, universe-destroying entities in the form of Solaris in Sonic 06, the one everybody loves. Super Sonic is incredibly OP, and that is why he's a 4-star spirit, and a pretty difficult fight here. Thankfully, I'm playing as Super Shadow, who, although he is canonically weaker than Super Sonic, seems to be doing the job pretty well here. Just kicking him into the horizon. Nice. Here we have Phyllis and Pelly. I previously did a little bit of fusion to make these two, and now we can battle them. So, Phyllis and Pelly are an interesting duo in Animal Crossing. Phyllis is the receptionist at the post office during the day, and she is bright, bubbly, cheerful, seems to be really on top of her customer service, absolutely loves her job. She's just a really, really nice person. And at night time, the night shift, you get her sister Phyllis, the pink one, who is the bitchiest character, and I say that with all due respect and love. Like, she just has no time for your shit. She is so rude, she's so disrespectful, she could not give less of a shit about her job. They're such a wonderful contrast off of each other. And I didn't know this just from playing the game, but apparently within AC lore, there's like a love triangle between the two of them and Pelly the postman, so spicy stuff. By combining Girahim with the imprisoned, Girahim succeeds in resurrecting his master, Demise, the cause of all of Hyrule's suffering. By combining Sandshrew with a wheelie, we are able to get a shrew-like character who can spin dash. We get Dylan from Dylan's Rolling Western and Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, both for the 3DS. By combining these shopkeepers together, we get the ultimate Nintendo shopkeeper and landlord and entrepreneur. We get Tom Nook from Animal Crossing, who can be upgraded. By combining all of Starfy's friends throughout the Starfy series, we get none other than the protagonist himself, the legendary Starfy. His series plays a little bit like Kirby, except underwater, and with a cute little spin attack. Anyway, combining the reporter and the wrestler with the Hammer Bro, we get a wrestler who wields a hammer, the more powerful version of DDD in Kirby Superstar Ultra. We have Masked DDD. By combining Wispy Woods with Sudowoodo, i.e. a tree with a fake tree, we get the ultimate fake tree. That is to say, the yoga pose tree. A 3-star Wii Fit spirit. Nice. By upgrading, we can turn Twilight Princess Ganon into his beastly form, big and strong. We can upgrade Tom Nook to get his much more formal Nookington's attire. from when he becomes a more successful businessman. By upgrading Medusa, the doofy little one from the NES, we get the far more threatening Uprising appearance of her. By upgrading Alincia from Fire Emblem, we get her promoted form in Radiant Dawn, in which she is a Pegasus rider. And a queen, also, that. And here we have the battle against Shadow Mario. We did mention him previously, but here's the full-on fight. So, first of all, we're on Isle Delfino, because of course we are. That's where Baby Bowser and Shadow Mario first debuted, wildly enough. A lot of Mario staples were introduced in Sunshine, I will say that for it. And, yeah, in that game, Shadow Mario, before he revealed himself to be Baby Bowser, would flit around, cover everything with horrible, goopy paint, which is what this fight is. The floor is goopy and horrible, that final smash literally goops up the screen, so you can be hurt by the camera, so that's great. And if not for the fact that I'm currently playing as, you know, Dad, that could have been somewhat difficult. So, here is Black Shadow, the self-proclaimed King of Evil in the F-Zero series. He is a known and wanted criminal by the Galactic Federation, a massive target for Captain Falcon, and most wildly of all, his MO as an F-Zero racer, and this does reflect in his gameplay, is to essentially retire the other racers by riding them off of the track and killing them, as a means of getting away with, like, extrajudicial murder. F-Zero's fucking wild. So, yeah, for this fight, we're against Ganondorf, who is Black Shadow. We're against another one of those Blood Falcons, because Blood Falcon was created by Black Shadow to combat Captain Falcon. And, yeah, he is a 4-star spirit in this, although within F-Zero, he does actually answer to one all-powerful evil entity. F-Zero GX introduces him. He has a really stupid name. I've forgotten the name. It's like Death Seeker or Murderface. I'm gonna Google it. Deathborn! This motherfucker! It's like he escaped from a Rob Liefeld comic. Alright, back on track. Here is Blathers, another Animal Crossing spirit. One who we fused before, and now we can battle him. Blathers is the owl who runs the museum. You can present him with fossils and bugs and fish, and in doing so you're able to fill the museum and get a nice, beautiful exhibit going. Blathers' most notable trait is if you give him things during the day, which is when most other characters are awake and active and doing things, Blathers will be fast to fucking sleep, and you have to wake him up in order to get him to assist you. Vice versa with nighttime, of course. So, yeah, no, it's quite funny, because he's like one of the few characters who actually gives into a somewhat animalistic trait, i.e. being nocturnal. So, yeah, that is Blathers. We did, you know, early in this LP, acquire his little sister Celeste, and now we have him too. Here is the battle against Nihilego. Nihilego is an Ultra Beast, that is to say an extra-dimensional Pokemon, as introduced in Generation 7, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. Nihilego is a force from beyond the cosmos and is very Lovecraftian in its ability to latch onto someone's head like a Half-Life head crab and completely rewrite their personality, turning them into a violent shell of their former selves. Hence, you know, nihilistic and ego being part of its name. In terms of its actual biology, and fuck, this fight is annoying, I know, I'm sorry. It is a jellyfish made out of glass. So it is rock type, because that represents how glass is made out of sand. And it's also poison type to represent the neurotoxins that it can use to corrupt people. So for this fight, we have the ground representing the neurotoxin, and the Kirbys are spamming the ever-loving goddamn shit out of their cutters to get across the glass-based attacks. So yeah. Here is Auto. Auto is a creation of Dr. Light in the Mega Man series. He hangs around in the lab along with Mega Man and Roll, or Rock and Roll. And, yeah, he's the chauffeur. He doesn't really do that much, all things considered. Although in Mega Man 8, he does help you in one stage where he wields a bazooka. So, for that reason, we are fighting a Rob who is wielding a super scope. as a means of representing Auto's bazooka. Not particularly hard, though. And here we are, just really getting to the bottom of these spirit battles. Tom Nook. So, Tom Nook, the lovable, capitalist of the Animal Crossing series. A character who has prompted many debates about whether he really is a good person, whether he is as philanthropic as he seems to let on, or if he is just a horrible, shrewd capitalist. You know what? It's a debate I can't honestly have that much stake in because I don't give a fuck. It's a cartoon raccoon. Anyway, here is Dylan from Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers and Rolling Western. Dylan is an armadillo who, along with his buddies, goes out of his way to fight the Grox, a bunch of alien rock monsters who have invaded his homeland. So, Sonic playing Dylan is already perfect because spin dashes. The spin dashes are just straight up there already. Dylan is also an assist trophy in Smash, so we got to fight double the Dylan for this one. Although we have now dealt with his assist trophy form. And, good lord, I think we're nearly done now. You're probably confused by my choice of character, the Dark Emperor. It's simply because both of them come from 3DS exclusive series. It would be nice to see a new Dylan game. Maybe for the Switch. So, here we are in Funky Kong's shack. Let's buy us the Papercraft Mario from Mario and Luigi Paper Jam Bros. Nice. And over in Sheldon's shop, we have the Phazon suit. This allows Samus to battle against Phazon creatures, but is later hijacked by Metroid Prime to create Dark Samus. Also bought a shuffle, need loads of those. Here is Julius Belmont. Julius is the most modern member of the Belmont clan in Castlevania. He was literally operating during the 90s. He appears in the Sorrow games, the ones with Soma Cruz. And yeah, the reason Soma Cruz exists at all is because Julius completely destroyed Dracula. He completely finished him off in 1999, forcing him to be reincarnated into a wholly different form. Anyway, Julius, for that reason, is canonically one of the most powerful of the Belmonts, one of the most dangerous members of the clan, and one of the most difficult boss fights in Aria of Sorrow. Yeah, this guy is really nothing to be trifled with, and that is why for Smash he has a pretty standard battle, a 3-star battle in which his AI is pretty good and he is pretty tough all around. So yeah, you just have to be a good, competent fighter for this one. And I must say, Simon and Richter, not really my mains. I'm not particularly great with them, so I feel a more skilled, dedicated player of this character could have done this fight a little more justice. But that's just me. Anyway, fun thing about the Castlevania reps in Smash is that they both have Grand Cross as their final Smash. And oh boy, is Julius Belmont partial to using that move. It is a big, powerful special finisher, so yeah, it all works, and get reaped. Nice. Here is the Discun. Now this is wild, I had to do a lot of research for this one. Discun is the mascot of the Famicom Disk System. Something that allowed the Famicom to play games not off of the ROM carts that we know the Famicom and the NES for, but floppy disks. In doing so, you could essentially make it easier to save games, and you could even overwrite games fully on the floppy disks for relatively cheap. And by relatively, I mean extremely. Like, you could get classics like The Legend of Zelda for 500 yen. The equivalent of 3 quid. So that shit is wild and amazing. And the idea of this battle is not that we're fighting Discun, because Discun's not here. We're fighting a bunch of characters who debuted in NES games that supported the Famicom Disk System. If that makes sense. I'm sorry, it's very hard to explain, because this was all new to me. I've never in my life associated Nintendo with floppy disks. But there you go. Like, anytime you were reading or writing to the discs, you would have Discun on the screen as a cute little mascot, just egging you on, telling you what to do, giving you advice. And yeah, this is just a whole big thing that never in any capacity reached the West. So thank you, Smash Ultimate, for introducing me to this. I knew nothing about it before. Thought I was quite knowledgeable about video games, but apparently not. Anyway, this fight's fucking hard as balls because there's so many enemies. So you'll notice that I have equipped the spirit that heals me when one of them goes down, allowing me to eventually single them out enough to get a victory out of this. There we go. Alrighty, so next up we have Karate Kong. Karate Kong is one of the evil Kongs appearing as a boss in Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, the Donkey Kong game for the GameCube in which you had to pull off platforming and combat all with the Donkey Kong bongo peripheral, which is such a great idea for a video game, gimmicky as it may be. But, yeah, the Karate Kong fight was something of a notable one in that game because Karate Kong really did force you to watch his movements and react accordingly and be incredibly precise, even with your, bongo controllers. So, yeah, for that reason, we're battling against a Ryu, a character who really does get across the whole idea of being precise with your inputs. And, yeah, this fight generally is just kind of tricky. This moment here nearly made me lose my fucking lunch. I was like, oh god, have I just lost? But no. Managed to just about pull it back in. And just before he finishes me with an endless combo, I got a cheeky slap in. There we are. So, here are the blue Pikmin. The standard Pikmin appearing in the first game along with the red and yellows. The blue Pikmin, as you can probably tell just by looking at them, are water resistant. They're the watery ones. So you can take them into bodies of water without them drowning, which is such an important boon for the, aquatic levels. They're pretty necessary to get you through the game, and yeah, they are pretty good all-rounder Pikmin outside of that. So for this particular fight, we have the rainy stage, we have water trailing down, dragging you off if you fall into it, and a shitload of squirrels, all of whom wanna drown me in water. Here's the Polterpup. Here's the Polterpup from Luigi's Mansion 2. The Polterpup is a mischievous reoccurring enemy in that game, who essentially is just a little doggo who's just trying to play around and have fun. And considering that he's not actually a malicious force, Luigi doesn't bust him like he does so many of the other ghosts in that series. Instead, the Polterpup gets adopted by Luigi by the end of the game, and in 3, he's just Luigi's pet dog. And I know the Luigi's Mansion series is separate, but I want that to be a permanent fixture always. Like, I want Luigi to always have a ghost dog, because that's very good and wholesome and cute. Anyway, for this particular fight, we have the Duck Hunt, who himself is a dog who likes to dabble in mischief, i.e. giggling at you when you fuck up. And he was invisible, making him a right pain to deal with. Here is Gangrel. Gangrel is a bloodthirsty antagonist appearing in Fire Emblem Awakening, although, bafflingly, later in the game you can recruit him when there is a greater evil to be dealt with. Gangrel essentially sees people as less than human. He sees them as beasts, hence why he is being played by Wolf. On top of that, Gangrel is always allied with his loyal follower, Aversa, a dark mage. So, representing her, we have Bayonetta the Witch, who, from a visual standpoint, very much suits Aversa's gothic design. On top of that, the stage that we're battling on, the Find Me stage, is representing the Border Wastes, the place where you have your big clash against the two of them. And there goes Aversa. She's very dead. And there goes Gangrel. Got them both. Nice. One more spirit to fuse before we do some DLC with End Me Scoob. We can combine Discon with the Waddle Dee to give us the horrible boss from the Mega Man series, the Yellow Devil. Fuck that boss fight. And here it is, the DLC, and End Me Scoob is now with me. So, first up we've got Andy Bogard as a low-level spirit from Fatal Fury. The first question I've got is, what is the difference between Fatal Fury and King of Fighters? I'm still not sure.
So, sort of like how in Capcom, everything folds into Street Fighter over time. You know, Final Fight, Saturday Night Slam Masters, some of the Resident Evil stuff, etc. King of Fighters is basically the big shared universe game for SNK.
Oh, right, okay. So it's like all of their properties all kind of pulled together?
And until recently, it kept a modern day only, but they sort of broke that. We'll get to that when Samurai Showdown comes up.
Ah, rightio. So these first few characters we bumped into, we had the first character there being played by Fox. We got this one as Incineroar. Do you have any kind of bios on these characters or how they're being represented here?
They are the leads of the Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting series, respectively. Kim is another Art of Fighting character. They have sort of just become King of Fighters since there hasn't really been a non-KOF title from most of these series in over a decade at this point. Closer to 20 in some.
Okay then. I will say my own exposure to anything SNK related is Metal Slug, and sadly there's no Metal Slug spirit in this, so I literally couldn't cover any bases there.
Yeah, I was expecting when I did the research on this to find, oh yeah, they're going to bring in some of the early Neo Geo stuff. Nope, the deepest they went is Ikari Warriors.
Fair enough. Actually, what's up with the Ridley and the DDD in this match? Are they all somehow tied to the character of Kim, or...?
The Ridley and Day-to-Day are kind of jokes to the fact that Kim actually runs a restaurant, and he does seafood, which I'm kind of guessing is the penguin joke with Day-to-Day, as well as the fact that he's been known to comment on... Wait, what is Ridley? I just realized maybe it's not a fish joke.
He's like a big space dragon, but yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure on Ridley.
Fair enough. I'll leave that to people viewing to suss out. Geese Howard I do know through cultural osmosis. He's a big bad in the Fatal Fury series? Or King of Fighters?
He is one of the worst fathers in fighting game history, and in a world that includes Tekken, that says something.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, that's rough.
So, Geese is the guy who is the boss of Fatal Fury, dies, and they kept him dead until very recently, but Terry adopted his son out of guilt and tried to raise Rock Howard like a normal human.
Yeah?
So when 2 King of Fighters ago it was revealed that Geese had actually spent time recuperating, started a new criminal empire across the world, and only showed up for the tournament just as an FU, it's kind of...
What a piece of shit.
The ultimate bad dad move. Yeah, over 15 years in canon, that dude just fucked off.
Fucking hell, wow. Okay, that's wild. He also got into Tekken 7 to my knowledge, so... This game got Terry, and that game got Geese.
It's hilarious because Akuma and Geese are basically the angel and devil on Heihachi's shoulder in that game.
And you'll notice that if you look at my character, I am playing as Akuma here to make it all the more fitting.
It is a perfect one. And Ryo is the hero of Art of Fighting, which is the longest abandoned title that they have in the SNK catalog, although it started plenty of things. It just originated, so it kind of didn't have the lasting power.
Okay.
Basically, Fatal Fury would take everything Art of Fighting did and bring it further before they all became King of Fighters. Kyo, Iori's rival from King of Fighters, one of the... I think he's Team Japan? They changed the lineup so much that it's hard to remember with some of the characters. And he is basically your Ryu. He's the good guy.
Oh, fantastic. Lovely. I will say the stage we're fighting on right now is fantastic, because it is the King of Fighters stage where you do have to, in order to smash enemies out, hit them with enough force to bounce through the wall, and more stages need a gimmick like this, because it's legitimately good and fun to play.
That is actually a thing that was in a few of the Fatal Fury games.
Oh shit, nice.
Where you could knock people out through a wall of the arena with enough force, and that would give a ring out. That
is fantastic. I'm a little confused on the Donkey Kong and the Pikachu accompanying Ryo here. I don't know if that's...
So, Elemental Fighter. Electricity, white-haired guy who hits hard, and Captain Falcon for the flame effects.
Oh, shit. So it just covers all of the bases of the character. That's...
Basically, yeah, it's just references to different moves and personality.
That is clever.
Well, I don't know about personality, but fighting style.
Fair enough.
Honestly, that is an incredibly resilient Falcon there.
Yeah, he took a good few hits before I finally got him. Iori Yagami seems to me like a massive edgelord from what I have seen of him.
100% Wolf is a good fit. The big thing is that his bloodline is kind of cursed, so he's got demon possession in his future if he goes a little too mad.
Of course he does, that's amazing.
Yeah, he is of the Orochi bloodline, and he has been known to, when provoked enough, go into the Riot of the Blood.
Okay.
So I'm going to guess this powered-up wolf is in fact representing that. It's a Berserker Rage.
Oh, shit, nice. That's very, very fun.
And also, that is...
now, if I remember correctly, this wolf did give me quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah,
so...
yeah, I'm noticing that is definitely a much harder fight to go through.
Yeah. The stage doesn't help. Now, this is a character from Samurai Showdown, isn't it?
Yes, and like I said, until very recently, these guys were in their own corner of the world, but oh, that is an incredibly cute costume.
It's great, isn't it? The Meat and Sword Fighter's got treated with this DLC.
Yeah, Haomaru is he's your protagonist of anyone out of Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown's a little weird because it's a game where everyone is just kind of wandering the countryside, doing their own thing, and then eventually they're going to run into whoever the villain of the game is and kick their ass and go, that was weird. There's not a lot of interconnected plot between the whole cast like in some other titles.
It all just kind of plays out in its own way then.
Yeah, a lot of wandering Ronin or someone looking for the person who was after their pa or whatever.
Okay then, that seems interesting. This is a fight that should have been over a while ago. There we go. Alright, that is Haomaru. Another character from...
This one I actually did a little bit of research on beforehand because this is a great pairing. You've got Falco representing Naoruru's Falcon companion, who she is actually one of the few people who can really zone well because projectiles are not as much of a thing, so an actual familiar that can run around on the battlefield is a nightmare to deal with.
They fight similarly to how Rosalina and Luma do in this game, essentially. That's... Oh, we don't need to commentate on this one because I've got a...
Athena's name is magic, mystery, it's what you see. Her crystal is the answer, lying there to keep us free. She's just a little girl with fire inside, burning bright. You better hide if you are bad. She got you. She reads your mind and find it too. Feeling right or wrong. Fire, fire, psycho soldier. Fire, fire, psycho soldier.
So yeah, Athena is probably one of the longest characters SNK has had. She debuted as her own arcade character in the late 80s and continues to show up through King of Fighters, although she has the unfortunate side effect of slowly becoming younger over time.
Oh dear.
Like, she's gone from being a 20-something psychic warrior to now she's literally a schoolgirl who might also be a goddess.
Oh, alright. So I guess a little more comfortable as time goes on, I imagine. Oh dear. Well, last up we've got Ralph and Clark, the Ikari Warriors. What can you tell me about these two, both played by Solid Snake?
So, one of them actually debuted in one of their spin-off series, TNK3, or Tank as it was localized here.
Nice.
And then Ikari Warriors introduced the second as Player 2. They are your mercenary types. They have been in a couple of the early King of Fighters games, but they sort of phase out over time because they're mercenaries who are running around with guns and they kind of don't fit that world after a while.
Yeah.
Although one of their contemporaries does show up. Oh my god, I'm going to be screamed at for this. One of my partners loves them. Leona, I think it is.
Aha! There we go. With that, thank you very much for all the insight. That's much appreciated.
Absolutely. Glad I could be a hand.
With that, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and take care.
Ta-ta.